Here at Policestore and also at Brownell's Law Enforcement carries quite a variety of sights, aiming aids, and optics. One category that we receive a lot of questions about is laser aiming devices or laser sights, and rightfully so. There are a lot of options out there with regard to these devices, including colors, activation methods, mounting systems, and features. So we're going to take a look at the various devices in this category, some factors to consider when deciding if a laser is right for you, and some tips on getting the most out of your aiming laser. First, let's tackle the biggest question. Why would I want a laser, with some of the advantages? The biggest tactical advantage of lasers is the ability to project your sight picture onto your threat and being able to do so from compromised shooting positions where normal sight alignment would be difficult or impossible. The physiology of lethal encounters tells us what anyone who has been in one already knows. There is a strong tendency to focus on the threat. This is a normal reaction, but it's one that works against us in achieving appropriate sight alignment at distances where that is required. Lasers essentially place our front sight post on our target, giving us the same single focal plane advantage that optics can give us on rifles. This allows us to remain focused on a threat throughout the engagement and still place our shots accurately, working with our body's natural response instead of against it. This advantage increases as distance increases. At conversational distances, of course, a precise sight picture becomes less of a requirement to effectively employ. But as that range increases, such as when we can use or create distance store advantage, the single focal plane precision of a laser can really work to our advantage. The next tactical advantage of lasers has to do with the ability to obtain a sight picture at all. Things don't always work out in the street the way they do at the range, and we may find ourselves in a position that is somewhat less desirable than our textbook modified isosceles or other shooting platform. A laser can aid our aiming in these situations. Lasers also allow us to use cover more effectively. By removing the requirement to get our eye behind the gun, we can still deliver aim fire while minimizing our exposure. There are many other tactical benefits to aiming lasers, but the next thing I'd like to talk about are the marksmanship benefits. Lasers can be extremely useful for students, instructors, and self-paced practice, in that they can help to diagnose problems with sight alignment, trigger control, anticipation of recoil, and other fundamental errors. And with a laser, the student or practitioner has the advantage of seeing the effect these mistakes have on where the muzzle is pointed as the shot breaks. Now, there are some limitations. Aiming lasers are at their very best in reduced lighting situations. Some laser colors, like green, do very well in broad daylight, but all are reduced in effectiveness to some degree. If you take a look at the vast majority of violent encounters that take place either indoors or in reduced lighting conditions, however, you will see that lasers are at their best when we are most likely to need them. Now that we've talked about why we might want to have a laser, let's look at some of the options.